Good evening. It's Saturday, the 28th of August. It's just gone 6 o'clock, and welcome to our news programme this evening. And in the news this week, emergency services are expecting a busy bank holiday weekend, with the influx of holiday makers expected to flock to the coast to enjoy their last chance of a summer break before the schools return. A combination of the beautiful weather forecast and an increase in people taking UK holidays has prompted Dorset Police, the Council and the Fire Service to urge both residents and visitors to look out for themselves and each other over the bank holiday weekend. Roads are expected to be very busy, and motorists are encouraged to be prepared with water and food if queues are in place. And it also might be difficult getting into the county and, of course, getting out of the county at the end of the bank holiday weekend. Dorset Police's Summer Policing Gold Commander Chief Superintendent Mark Callaghan said, "To date, this summer has been very busy, and we're continuing to work closely with our partner agencies to keep people safe. Over the coming weeks, we have some key events taking place, and I'm reminding people to make sure they look out for themselves and each other." People are also urged to avoid using disposable barbecues, lighting fireworks, or having campfires in areas of heathland following the devastation caused last year at Wareham Forest. And of course, looking at health workers are urging people in need of treatment to try calling 111 first, rather than just turning up at one of our local hospitals and the possibility of a long wait. Of course, if somebody is seriously ill or it's emergency, then you should definitely call 999. Drivers are being warned of road closures so that a popular music festival can go ahead on Weymouth Harbour this weekend. In fact, it's already underway. Roads around the harbour at Custom House Quay on the north side of the harbour have been closed since earlier today and will remain closed until midnight on Sunday for the Quayside Music Festival. The alternative routes for through traffic from the west will be via Commercial Road, Lower St Albans Street and St Thomas Street, St Edmunds Street, and via St Mary Street, St Edmunds Street and Lower St Edmunds Street to Commercial Road. Children joined Weymouth Town Council and the RSPB at the newly planted Children's Community Woodland in Links Road to help improve the wildlife last week. The area was planted last winter with 510 native trees as part of a nationwide campaign to plant a tree for every child that started school for the first time during the pandemic. The trees will help mitigate against climate change, provide food and shelter for wildlife, and create a natural area for the community. Local children did a fantastic job of creating a giant bug hotel, and you can see it there in the background in the picture on screen, out of wooden pallets and natural materials. This will provide a home for a range of insects and other creatures, particularly over the winter months. Children also took part in a wildlife trail and scavenger hunts to learn more about woodland wildlife, and even made their own mini bug home to take home. Mother of one of the participants, Ali Kearney, said, "My daughter really did love every second and is really planning an extension on her bug hotel at home." Councillor Kate Weller said, "It's vitally important to get young people engaged with wildlife, and this is exactly what the Children's Community Woodland is all about. It was wonderful to see the children enjoying themselves and learning at the same time, and we look forward to seeing who moves into the splendid bug hotel." I'm sure there'll be lots of bugs in that massive big bug hotel. Dorset Police are investigating an assault in Weymouth Town Centre and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with any information to come forward. The victim was a man aged in his 20s. He was walking with a friend in Maiden Street near to the junction with Market Street at around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday the 22nd of August when they were approached by a group of people and he was subjected to an unprovoked assault. The victim sustained minor injuries to his head. The group involved were described as around 15 men and 5 to 10 women, all believed to be aged in their early 20s and white. Some of the men were wearing gillets. Dorset Police are also investigating a road traffic collision in Weymouth and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. They received a report at around 10:50 p.m. on Tuesday the 24th of August of a single vehicle collision in Melcombe Avenue near the junction with Dorchester Road. It was reported that the vehicle involved was a black Audi A3. had sustained damage and the driver had left the scene on foot. Officers attended and carried out a search of the area, but the driver was not located. The driver is described as a white man around 5 feet 6 inches tall and with shoulder-length dark hair. He was said to be wearing black top and jeans. Anyone who witnessed these incidents, has dash cam footage or any other information which they think may be of help to Dorset Police are asked to give their general number 101 a call with that information, or of course they can give the information anonymously via the Crime Stoppers charity on free phone 0800 555 111. And finally from Dorset Police this week, they've been following up on an incident involving knives in Weymouth. At approximately 2:30 on the 23rd of August, Dorset Police were called to a report of a disturbance on the Esplanade between a group of youths. It was reported that 2 males were allegedly seen in possession of knives during the altercation. Police attended and quickly located 2 young males matching the description of those believed to be involved. Both males were detained for a search, which resulted in 2 knives being recovered, which have now been seized by police. 2 12-year-old local males are assisting officers with their inquiries. It's understood that their parents of those involved have been informed of and are fully supportive of the police action. The neighbourhood team will be carrying out follow-up visits to speak to others who are identified as being involved. I guess the message from this is know where your children are and make sure your children haven't got knives. Because although in this instance there was nothing serious happened, of course we see many stories on TV and in the newspapers where knives have been used and the outcomes aren't so good. So let's be careful with those knives and let's know where our children are. As part of the town's summer season of fireworks, Weymouth Town Council have trialled 2 lower noise displays. The first of these displays took place on Monday the 16th of August, with the second display taking place last Monday the 23rd of August. In order to monitor feedback on the lower noise displays and to help shape decisions on future firework displays, Weymouth Town Council is asking people who attended the second lower noise display to fill out a survey online. The final display of the season is taking place this Monday on the 30th of August, and that will be a regular display starting at 9:30. The Town Council, like always, would like to encourage attendees, where possible, to leave their cars at home and to avoid congestion. The summer fireworks are provided by Paynes Fireworks and Cyrotechnics, with additional operational support of Master Plan Offshore, Dorset Council, Weymouth Harbour Office and the Weymouth Town Council Beach Office. Lots of people like the fireworks, but others are obviously concerned about the noise, and particularly that effect on pets and on those of a nervous disposition. So this is your opportunity to provide some feedback to Weymouth Town Council on their firework displays and the use of low noise fireworks. Now, the link for the survey is quite long, but I'm sure you can find the information on the Weymouth Town Council website if you don't grasp it now. But it is www.surveymonkey.co.uk/r/9RY3BJN. I'll say that once more. It's www.surveymonkey.co.uk/r/9RY3BJN. Dorset Fire and Rescue are urging local people to help keep their communities fire safe as the summer holidays draw to a close. A combination of the bank holiday weekend, the last chance for families to get away before school restart, and large events such as the Bournemouth Air Festival will mean an influx of people visiting the region and using the roads over the coming 2 weeks. Group manager Jason Moncrief said, "When the sun shines and the rain stays away, there's a far greater risk of fires, starting from bonfires at home, campfires, disposable barbecues, etc. Whether it's being careful to have safety measures in place or doing things differently to avoid avoid starting a fire, residents and visitors alike can really help us to stop land, property and potentially even lives being devastated." So there's some top tips from the fire service for this bank holiday weekend. If you have a bonfire at home, site it well away from buildings, fences, trees and furniture, and have a garden hose to hand in case it starts to spread. Never throw away the coals from a home barbecue unless they are completely cold. Let it cool for several hours and then douse them with water. If you're out enjoying the countryside, please don't use a disposable barbecue, especially on heathland or woodland. A picnic is far safer. If you're visiting the beach, don't use flares or fireworks near the cliffs, and avoid having campfires or disposable barbecues near beach huts or any foliage. Always be careful when disposing of cigarette ends, matches and other smoking materials. Wherever you are, please be considerate when you park a car. A fire engine needs 3 metres clearance, and any delay in getting through could be catastrophic. Local roads will be very busy, so please allow plenty of time for your journey. And Dorset Fire and Rescue have said basically they want to do everything possible to avoid another fire like they had at Wareham Forest last year. Which happened, I believe, over this same weekend, and they want to keep communities safer. All of these fires can start by very small and simple things like disposable barbecues or a discarded cigarette end or match. So if we're all much safer, we'll stop having these fires, we'll keep our firemen safe as well, and we won't get any damage to our community. Dorset Council is urging private landlords and landowners and owners of second homes to come forward if they can provide suitable accommodation for the Afghan relocation scheme. The takeover of Afghanistan, which has been very much in the news this week by the Taliban, has prompted a mass evacuation of Afghan citizens, and a government relocation scheme has recently been announced to help eligible families remain safe following their service to the UK troops and the UK government. Dorset Council has pledged to support the scheme, which is being funded by the UK government. The council will not use accommodation such as social housing intended for Dorset families on the housing register or for people who are homeless. But Dorset Council is seeking offers of additional privately owned self-contained accommodation to house families under these schemes. The council is looking for a range of homes of varying sizes, particularly larger family homes that are available for at least 12 months. These need to be self-contained properties as opposed to offers of spare rooms or house sharing. Councillor Graham Carr-Jones has said, everyone will have seen the heartbreaking and distressing events currently unfolding in Afghanistan, and Dorset Council is supporting the government scheme to resettle eligible families safely in the UK. People are asking the council how they can help. The single thing we need right now is offers of suitable accommodation, but this needs to be balanced with existing high levels of demand for housing in our area. That's why we're specifically looking for private landlords or owners of second homes to come forward rather than asking social housing providers. I am acutely aware of the demand for emergency accommodation for local families on our housing register and in temporary accommodation. I want to reassure people in this situation that they will not be disadvantaged by the work we are doing to help the government resettle Afghan families. Now, if you're a private landlord or you own a second home or you can help with any accommodation in any way, remember it has to be self-contained accommodation, not spare rooms or house shares. You can email Dorset Council at Afghan Families Housing, that's Afghan Families Housing, no gaps or anything, at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. Now, on arrival, these families do get a lot of support, so they're not just going to be dumped in properties. There will be caseworkers and social support around them as well to help with their resettlement and housing them in the UK. Turning to the RNLI. The Weymouth RNLI all-weather lifeboat was launched at 4 o'clock on Thursday, the 26th of August, that's this Thursday, at the request of Solent Coast Guard to do a medical evacuation of a 20-year-old male from a sail training vessel just outside of Portland Harbour. The 23-metre vessel was unable to berth in Portland Harbour, so following a doctor's advice, the yacht skipper requested the lifeboat so that a young man could be taken ashore as quickly as possible. The lifeboat picked up the casualty and took him back to the lifeboat station to a waiting ambulance. And finally, in our headlines tonight, the number of COVID-19 patients hospitalised nationally has increased by 14% over the last few weeks, while the number of the most seriously ill on mechanical ventilators in hospital has increased by 16%. So that's not good news that things are going in the wrong direction. In Wyke Regis, the rate of infection per 100,000 people is currently at 394.9 people per 100,000, which is well above the national average. To our west, the other southwest counties have the highest rates of COVID in the UK and the highest rate of hospital bed occupancy rate, which is currently at 97%. And this is thought to be as a result of recent festivals such as Boardmasters and the massive influx of holidaymakers into the southwest. So this is something for us all to be aware of and to take sensible precautions and to make sure we all keep ourselves safe. So the government are reminding us of the importance to test ourselves weekly, twice weekly if we can. Test kits are available from your local pharmacy, and to take extra care, especially if you are going to crowded events or crowded places, to keep as much distance as possible. And of course, if you can, and you are still able to wear a mask, then that makes good sense as well. So there we go. That's the end of our headlines tonight. It's just past 16 minutes past 6. Now this evening our first report is continuing the Weymouth and Melcombe Regis 450 theme. And this week Janet Hall looks back at the railway coming to Weymouth.
At the beginning of Queen Victoria's reign, Weymouth was an exclusive resort, mainly for the rich. Then something happened which changed everything. One thing that had been missing from Weymouth was a park with drives, paths, walks, trees and flowers. There was no land available for such a luxury. So in 1834, a decision was made to take some by filling in parts of the backwater to the west of the esplanade. Although the land was reclaimed, the park never materialised following various financial and other difficulties. Instead, part of it was sold on to build the railway station for the Great Western and South Western Railways, which jointly opened up to service in Weymouth in 1857, bringing the railway to Weymouth, which had for so long been lagging behind in the latest forms of transportation. The reclaimed land beyond was bought by the Conservative Land Society and marketed as plots to build new houses, which is now known as the Park District. The old station, built of Brunel design, as most of the south were, was built on reclaimed land from Radipole Lake, or the backwater as it was known then. Being in a dilapidated state, it was replaced by a modern station in 1986. Not content to have just one railway company running to the end of the line, Weymouth had two. The South Western Railway Company had the line from Southampton, and the Great Western Railway had the line from Somerset through Dorchester to Weymouth. A line from Weymouth to Portland was part of the original plan for the Wilt, Somerset and Weymouth Railway, but not followed through. Then in 1861, two schemes were put forward. Construction of the Weymouth and Portland Railway started at the end of 1862 and was completed by April 1864. A need for further work on the timber viaducts over the backwater and the Fleet held up the opening until September. The end of the line at Weymouth grew in 1865 to include a line running out of the station and along the road. It ran along the inner harbour in Commercial Road and all the way down to the harbour, and in 1889 was extended onto the pier, ending at the ferry terminal. Around the same time, the steamship company, founded by Joseph Cousins, operated a fleet of paddle steamers on excursions along the southwest coast of England, like the Victoria in this picture taking passengers to Lulworth Cove. They also did cross-channel trips to Cherbourg and Alderney. But it was the arrival of the railway to Weymouth that transformed it from a resort for the moneyed elite into a mass market holiday destination for everyone. People who had never had the opportunity to travel long distances before suddenly could, with fares that were affordable for all. It became as easy for a factory worker and his family from Birmingham to reach the resort as a Duke and Duchess from Bath. Weymouth's holiday profile was about to change. There'll be more about Weymouth's 450 years of history next week. Hope to see you then.
Thank you, Janet, for that. Looking at the railways and as part of the Weymouth and Melcombe Regis 450. I've got many memories of the old wooden railway station in Weymouth, and particularly from around about 1980, I think it was, when I used to go to college in either Poole and Bournemouth or Southampton, and going through that old wooden building to get on the train. Unfortunately, I don't have memories of the railway to Portland, which is very sad, because I think that would now be a very wonderful tourist attraction and tourist route going along the harbour and up and around Portland. But there we go, things change. Our second story this evening, it comes from Inside Out Dorset. And this is the biennial International Arts Festival produced by Activate. It's pulled some strings to bring together different communities from across Weymouth and Portland to make puppets. For the festival's final weekend on the 24th and 25th of September, the spectacular After Dark Parade show Sense of Unity will make its way through Weymouth, led by the drummers of World Beaters, playing a soundtrack inspired by world rhythms and the West African kora. The procession is on a quest to find the puppets of Baby Dundu and the gentle giant Dundu. Lit from the inside, these mesmerising figures are handled and steered through the crowd by a crack team of 5 puppeteers. It is anticipated of the stunning finale. Activated hosted a series of 12 workshops across Weymouth and Portland this month, giving residents the opportunity to try their hand at making puppets to represent their communities and then put them into action by creating their own puppet theatre scenes. The puppets, more than 100 in total have been made, are now on display in shops all over Weymouth and Portland. Expert puppet maker Holly Miller from the Lyric Theatre in Bridport led the sessions, giving each participant a materials pack and providing guidance to realise their designs. After the making, she led drama sessions to encourage the makers to put their puppets into action. Holly was incredible. She is used to working across a range of ages, and the people we met were so keen to learn. Every single puppet that was made at the workshop has been borrowed from the maker and is now on display. It's like a little village. That's what one person said. Each puppet has a luggage label with the name and address of its maker, and it will be returned after the Sense of Unity has spread the magic through the town. Now, if you want to see these puppets, they're on display at Weymouth College, Weymouth College Community Front Room, Frith's Opticians, Dream Cottages, SMB Hair, Victoria Ann Bridal, Fox & Sons, Elliott & Co LLP, The Nell Show, and Weymouth Library. So lots of places you can go and see these puppets that have been made. Inside Out Dorset brings a wealth of international arts to 5 extraordinary locations over 2 weekends across the county. It starts on the 17th and 18th of September with artists like Luke Jerram's astonishing installation, Gaia, I think it's Gaia, at Moors Valley Country Park and Forest, where the 7-metre scale model of Earth will nestle overhead on the Treetop Trail. There's a full programme of circus events in Poole and Christchurch that weekend before Gaia moves to the ancient landscape of the Marshwood Vale on the Simmonsbury estate near Bridport from the 24th to the 26th of September. At both locations, it's supported by an artwork trail of site-specific events and performances responding to the climate emergency and our use of the land. The final weekend, and this is the most important thing, closes in Weymouth, with the Sense of Unity providing a fitting finale to a uniquely involving festival. And this is this parade of lit puppets. Now, the following video is going to give us some insight into what Inside Out Dorset is doing throughout Dorset in September.
My name is Luke Jerram and I am the artist behind Gaia. It's a replica of the Earth. It's about 7 metres in diameter. It's coming to the Moors Valley Country Park and Forest and Simmonsbury Estate. It's designed to sort of create a sense of what it might be like to float in space and look down at the Earth.
This year our company, who are associate artists for Inside Out Dorset, are making a new piece of work called Geophonic. It's about the story of rock. We want to think about how rock forms and shapes our lives and the environments that we live in. Making work for the outdoors is much safer than making work for inside at the moment. I am so pleased that the festival is happening this year because it means that audiences can come together safely again.
It's just so wonderful, isn't it, after everything we've been through, to be able to have an art project and a nice thing like this that will lift people's spirits again.
There we go, that's Inside Out Dorset and what it has planned for across Dorset, including Weymouth, over the months of September. So do search for Inside Out Dorset on the internet and you'll find all the details of what's going on there for you. It is just gone 27 minutes past 6. Now, many members of the local community will have spotted a hedgehog in their garden or wandering around their community this year. And we are encouraged to take part in a survey that is happening here in Dorset. Dorset Wildlife Trust has launched a hedgehog survey to learn more about the animals and their behaviour patterns in the county. The Trust has a hedgehog survey most years, and last year it received thousands of responses. A spokesman for Dorset Wildlife Trust said hedgehog numbers have fallen 30% in just 10 years. But they please want you to help them understand about Dorset's hedgehogs by completing the survey, which should just take a couple of minutes. On submission of your answers, they'll email you a 16-page guide to helping hedgehogs in your garden and in your community to say a big thank you. And if you completed the hedgehog survey in 2020, they'd love you to do it again in 2021 with your sightings. So for more information about the survey and to participate in the survey, visit the Dorset Wildlife website. They also have a wealth of other information on their website to do with wildlife, and even some wildlife webcams, live webcams that you can watch. On their website is www.dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk. That's www.dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk. We're now going to hear from our reporter Lydia about hedgehogs and caring for hedgehogs in our garden. And the video that goes with the report is courtesy of Hedgehog Street. And that is run by the British Hedgehog Preservation Society. And their website also is well worth a visit. It is absolutely full of information on hedgehogs and caring for hedgehogs and all the things you want to know about hedgehogs. So we're going over to Lydia now to hear a bit about hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs are a gardener's friend, as they eat beetles, caterpillars, worms and other invertebrates. Hedgehogs can travel around a mile every night, so they may need help to get into and out of your garden. Try cutting holes in fences, removing bricks from walls, or digging tunnels under the garden boundary. Hedgehogs can travel through gaps as small as 13 by 13 centimeters, so these gaps don't need to be large. Or, swapping your wall or fencing for native hedgerows provides a route in and out of your garden, as well as shelter for a range of wildlife. Supplementing a hedgehog's natural diet by leaving out food and fresh water is a great way to encourage local hogs into your garden. Leave out foods like tinned dog or cat food and cat biscuits or crushed dog biscuits. Good quality, Meaty specialist hedgehog food can be bought from wildlife food suppliers. Never feed hedgehogs milk as it can cause diarrhea. Instead, provide plain, fresh water in a shallow bowl. Bread should also be avoided as it's low in nutrients. Remember to check the food and water bowls each day to top them up with fresh water and food, and remove any food that hasn't been eaten. Always clean the dishes outside, not in the kitchen, every day with hot soapy water and rinse well. This will help to reduce the risks of spreading disease between different hedgehogs that might eat from the same dish. Some hedgehog-friendly gardening tips. Hedgehogs can easily fall into uncovered drains or holes in your garden. Cover holes or check them every day to make sure no hedgehogs have become trapped. Place bricks or stones at the side of ponds, or create a sloped edge on part of the pond to give hedgehogs a way to climb out if they fall in. Cover swimming pools overnight and when they're not in use. Check for hedgehogs before using strimmers or mowers, particularly under hedges where they might be resting during the day. If you're forking over a compost heap, these should also be checked first for any nesting hogs. Always thoroughly disturb bonfires immediately before you light them, as there could be hedgehogs nesting or hiding inside. Moving the whole bonfire by hand immediately before setting it alight is the best way of ensuring that hedgehogs and other wildlife are not sleeping in there. Litter is a real hazard to hedgehogs. They can get their heads stuck in tins, plastic bags, binders from drinks cans or discarded yogurt pots. Make sure you dispose of your rubbish safely and there's no litter in your garden. Don't forget to snip the straps of disposable face masks too. If you have any netting or wire in your garden, make sure it's at least a foot above ground level as hedgehogs can easily become tangled up in it. Hack away or roll up fruit nets, tennis and goal nets when they're not in use. We recommend replacing any netting in your garden with solid metal mesh if possible, which is less likely to entangle hedgehogs. Don't close your shed doors if you usually keep them open, as there might be hedgehogs nesting there. Make sure any dangerous chemicals or tools are kept well off the ground. If you need to dismantle your shed, check carefully underneath the floor first for nesting or hibernating hedgehogs. Slug pellets and pesticides can poison hedgehogs and should only be used as a last resort. Instead, try using one of many natural alternatives, like sprinkling crushed eggshells or coffee grounds around the plants you need to protect. If you have to use pellets, place them under a slate which is inaccessible to hedgehogs. The outdoor use of slug pellets containing metaldehyde will be banned in Great Britain from March 2022. If you want to encourage hedgehogs in your garden, leave areas of the garden wild, with piles of leaves, logs or compost. These are an attractive nest as well as a home for the invertebrates that hedgehogs like to eat. Why not consider making a hedgehog house? Making one can be as simple as placing a piece of board against a wall. Or you can buy a purpose-built hedgehog house, or even try to build your own. Do take part in the Dorset Wildlife Hedgehog Survey. This can be found at dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk. Your hedgehog sightings will be very helpful in getting an overview of hedgehog activity and population within the county. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you, Lydia. And I say, go along to Hedgehog Street as well, where that video material came from, That's the Hedgehog Preservation Trust. And lots of useful information there, including how to build a hedgehog house, what to feed them, and all sorts of useful things like that. Now, the time is just gone at 6:35, and it's time for our weather. And I think this week we've got Aidan McGibbon over at the Met Office.
Hello, it's the August bank holiday weekend for Northern Ireland, Wales and England, and for once the weather is looking fine. There will be some cloud at times and the odd shower towards the southeast, but otherwise it's simply warm, sunny spells across the UK. High pressure is in charge. It's to the northwest of the UK, so that means with the winds coming in from the east or northeast, it's never a particularly warm direction, although western Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland, have benefited from that high pressure location during recent days. That's where the warmest weather has been, and really looking forward to Sunday and into bank holiday Monday. That high pressure hardly moves. Centre of gravity remains in the same place. Winds continue to come in from the east or northeast, and there will be some cloud coming in from the east and northeast. So staying cool where we've got the low cloud and where we've got the North Sea breeze, but where we've got the sunshine and light winds, 23 to perhaps 25 degrees. Again, West Highlands, the warm spot on Saturday afternoon. Into the evening and overnight, we see those clear skies developing quite widely, but some of that low cloud in the northwest will just about creep into the north and northeast of Scotland, and then some of it will extend into northeast England. Now, of course, where that happens, temperatures will hold up in the double figures. Elsewhere, away from urban areas, we're looking at single figures once again. Best of the sunshine on Sunday towards the west, yeah, but there will still be some patchy cloud around. Generally, that will lift, and by the afternoon, we'll see long spells of sunshine for most. But perhaps a cloudy day there for Northern Ireland. Northern and eastern Scotland seeing more low cloud compared to Saturday, and a cooler feel as a result, and some of this cloud hugging the east coast. But for the vast majority, it's dry and sunny spells will prevail. Low 20s, not as warm as recent days in many places. So, for example, Western Scotland, 22 Celsius rather than the mid-20s. Bank holiday Monday could see a bit more cloud coming in from the east and northeast, but this is always difficult to get a hold of a couple of days in advance, and so just expect some areas of cloud at times. For the vast majority, it's going to be another dry day and another bright day with the best of the sunshine towards the west. But yes, some of these coastal areas, I think, will keep the mist and low cloud throughout the day, along with the cool breeze, so mid to high teens on that North Sea coast, whilst further west, in any sunny spells, low 20s. And that high pressure, believe it or not, is here to stay throughout much of next week as well. So a prolonged settled spell to come, but don't expect hot sunshine, particularly if you're towards the east of the UK, where it will be fairly cool and cloudy at times. We'll keep you updated, as always, on social media. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Aidan. And now for our local weather. I think it's going to be much the same the week ahead. Mainly sunny and sunny spells, a bit of cloud occasionally, and the temperatures ranging between 19 and 21 degrees C. So quite comfortable, not too warm, but certainly not chilly. So a nice week ahead for the bank holiday weekend and the rest of the week. So let's move on to traffic and travel. Our traffic and travel this week, we have got Southern Gas Networks working in Walker Crescent and Doncaster Road and Dorchester Road. Delays are to be expected on the Dorchester Road in that case. And Wessex Water in Hilborn Road, Netherton Road and Chickle Road. And there's possibility of some delays in Chickle Road from times. On the trains, no specific engineering works this bank holiday weekend or the week ahead, but still those ongoing works in the Bristol area scheduled to work through until the 3rd of September, that's next weekend, or the end of the week, possibly causing delays at times and the rerouting of services and jiggling with things a little bit. Turning to what's on. Looking first at Weymouth Pavilion, we've got some shows coming up. We've got 27th of August, Bebop Balula, 28th of August, the UB40, 29th of August, Little Mix Show, 3rd of September, the Beach Boys. All are tribute bands, all very good, I believe, so well worth the visit if you're into those types of music. Box office is available online at weymouthpavilion.com or by telephone on 01305 783 225. At the Nothe Fort tomorrow, we've got the remote-controlled tanks from Southern Armoured Group. There's tanks and other military vehicles, I believe. That's always very popular if you fancy a day out tomorrow. Military vehicles, remote controlled, all sorts of different scales, from large scale down to some small vehicles, and all different sorts of eras. Also on the 30th of August, Nothe Fort Fireworks and Rock and Roll Party with Ben Waters and the Rock and Roll Project. Tickets are £20, need to be bought in advance. Go along to their website there to see if you want to get tickets for that. The website is nothefort.org.uk. Now, there's lots of other events coming up over this weekend. Paintings by local artists can be viewed and purchased at an exhibition this weekend at Sutton Point's Mission Hall. That's running from 11 a.m. to 4:30, has been today, and will be again tomorrow on Sunday. That's 11 a.m. to 4:30, Sutton Point's Mission Hall. That's for paintings by local artists to look at and to purchase. Refreshments are available on both days, and entry is free. It's an annual event. It was cancelled last year, but hoping to get back on track. The Quayside Festival, which we mentioned in the headlines, is been on today and again is on tomorrow, bringing live music, food and drink to Custom House Quay in Weymouth, hosted by the Rendezvous nightclub. The free event will be headlined by star of ITV's The Voice, Lauren Bannon. And we'll see other acts, including Lego Man, Chief Lazarus and Orange Street, taken to the stage. Also this weekend, the Lyme Folk Festival is making a triumphant return. That's on today, tomorrow and Monday, after it was cancelled last year again due to the coronavirus. Attendees will be treated to free folk music, although the event will be scaled down slightly compared to previous year's events to make sure it's COVID secure. Also over this weekend, the B-Sider Seaside 13. It's the whole weekend at Breedy Farm near Burton Bradstock. It's hosting B-Sider Seaside 13, featuring bands, food and of course cider. Camping options are also available. And dragon boat racing. Sunday, tomorrow, Weymouth's popular dragon boat race will see teams of rowers take to the water in Weymouth Bay. That's always a good spectacle as well. The race will take place at the pavilion end of Weymouth Beach from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and participants can wear fancy dress if they wish. Another one for you. Dog, Sausage and Cider Festival. Now that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Dog, Sausage and Cider Festival. That's on Sunday at the Springhead Pub in Sutton Points. It hosts the Dog, Sausage and Cider Festival, featuring a range of flavoured sausages, local ciders and the Springhead Dog Show. The event is £1 entry for adults and free for children, and all the proceeds are going to the Margaret Green Animal Rescue Centre. So there's lots going on this weekend. And to finish off the weekend, of course, Weymouth has got its fireworks on Monday night in Weymouth Bay at 9:30 p.m. and it will be the normal noisy display. These are organised by Weymouth Town Council. And finally, just to remind you on our events stuff, that the Weymouth 450 activities being hosted in White Regis by the church and those people working with the church. It's an arts festival, arts exhibition, photo competition and proms concert. And I've been asked to encourage entries for the photo competition in particular. They are now coming in strong and fast, but it is open to everyone. It's not for church people. It doesn't matter if you're not in White Regis. It's basically what Weymouth means to you. You can submit up to 2 photos. They'll be on display and there will be prizes. So to submit those, just go along to the Parish of White Regis website, www.parishofwhiteregis.org.uk. Right in the centre of the front page is a thing about Weymouth 450. You click on that and you'll go into the event page, where you can book tickets for the last night of the proms. You can book for flower arranging workshops. And if you go down to the photo section, you can put in your details and upload your photos. And as we say, everybody is welcome to enter in the photo competition. Now, there we go. It's 6:40. Well, it's coming up to 6:45 actually. Now, we've had quite a lot in our What's On guide this week, so we're not going to do a film review this week. and there wasn't a new film out that we haven't already covered anyway. So hopefully there will be something for next week on the film review. So we're just about at the end of our programme for this week. Let me remind you that the regular church services are on in Wyke tomorrow, 8 o'clock and 9:30 at All Saints Church, with the 9:30 being live streamed. The St Edmund's service at 11 o'clock. And remind you, for the last week, there is no Saturday night quiz tonight at 7:30, but we are hoping it will resume next Saturday, the 4th of September at 7:30. Also, to remind you of our Year in Gardening with Clive Gray that goes out at 7 p.m. on a Friday evening. Of course, it's all there for you to catch up on our YouTube and Facebook pages. There is a new programme going out next week that's just been finished, which is for September. So do look into that and see what Clive's going to tell us about next Friday. And of course, if you'd like to keep up with local news and local programmes for local people, by local people, please support your other community stations, your community radio stations that operate in the Weymouth and Dorsetshire areas. You've got Chesil Radio, you've got Keep 106, and you've got Air 107.2, all doing a fantastic job for you, all run by volunteers, and all a little bit different, but I'm sure if you listen to all of them, there's one of them that will actually meet your needs. So that's all from me as we come up just to 6:47. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Looks like it'll be a nice weekend, so spend some time in the garden with some tea and coffee and cake, or have a barbecue. Do a little bit of exercise, but most importantly, stay safe, and I look forward to being with you again 6 o'clock next Saturday. Good night.